Welcome back, everybody, to Gardens, the Untold Story. And our co host, Andy, is hiding somewhere. You know, you can barely see him in that green background of his, but I like that green background because he is all about gardening and trees. He's an amazing man. And today we wanted to talk about rock dust and how to remineralize our soils, our plants, and ourselves.
It's real easy. You should eat the stuff. You just eat the stuff, and when you poop, you go out and poop everywhere, and you're doing good. You do good.
Well, we were talking about how many rocks do I have to eat to get this rock dust? And you're going, well, hey, at least it'll clean you out, you know?
Oh, yeah, it does a nice job. So remember, we're open to questions, and if people are out there listening in, if they want to say, what is rock dust? Or what the heck are you people talking about? And why even use rock dust? Just ask this question, you know. But it has to do with remineralize. Say, did you know that the Earth, you know how the Earth normally remineralizes?
Probably volcanoes blasting off.
That's one good. That's one way. It's the Ice Age.
Okay.
Think of glaciers being really heavy. They go across the Earth and they crush everything to a powder. See, and I do get a couple of rock dusts that are from volcanoes.
Yeah,
they are from ancient volcanic sites. Very, very good, highly mineralized. You know, I also get rock dust locally here in Southern California for a hot sulfur bath. It's a hot mud bath place.
Okay, yeah, a geothermal vent, so like a hot springs.
That stuff is 30% calcium. So not all rock dusts are the same. It depends on how they were made, right? How they were made. And what's interesting too is that Mother Nature will take that rock dust from one place and spread it out around the world. Literally, would spread it out around the world, and the microbes have evolved to eat the rock dust.
Yeah,
that's what.
When you look at the Sahara sand that blows off the Sahara Desert. It literally goes around the world, and you know all that is falling across the globe, and it's helping to remineralize everything around it.
That's what's happening right now as we speak. There's a massive dust storm in North Africa going across the ocean. The currents is taking it across the ocean. One of the things that the weatherman says is that hurricanes do not form very well when you have all this dust.
Yeah.
And the dust is being taken to the United States, to Central America, to all these other places, and it's highly rich in all the different minerals, all the minerals.
Right.
And there's no way that we can duplicate, because I know a lot of friends who are chemists, and they cannot duplicate all the trace minerals that comes from that one source or from any other source that Mother Nature makes. You see what I mean?
Well, they're saying that the Brazilian rainforest, that's what's actually feeding the trees in the rainforest is that Sahara sand that blows across and gives the minerals to the plants there.
Exactly. One of the first times, I don't know if I told you guys this or not, but it was the second time. The first time I heard about rock dust was a guy named Ebersol, and this was when I was in like 7th grade, 8th grade. You know, Dad used to go shopping at Homestead, and the guy told me about rock dust. The second time I heard about rock dust was on here in California, is I-10. And so I used to go up to the Desert Hot Springs a lot and all these other places. So I'm driving to this place on I-10, and there's a strawberry farm, organic strawberry farm. I said, well, that's cool. I'm going to pull in. So I'm talking to him. I said, well, what do you do to fertilize? He says, wait a minute. This storm comes and brings all this dust. And I just finished fertilizing them.
Yeah.
And so it turns out that right across the street, there's a mining company that they dig up the different types of gravel, different kinds of sand, and they have all this alluvium clay, which they stash up over there. The wind comes and blows it around. And that was the second time I heard about a rock dust or somebody in terms of the dust, actual dust being just taken around by the earth doing stuff. And that's really, really cool. Good evening. Good morning. Hi. Is it Silly Lily?
Silly Lily.
Silly Lily. Hi, Silly Lily. You got any questions? Good morning. this person is not in the United States. I can tell that.
No, I think that person's a little lost because good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. So I think she's talking to anybody around the world, and if she's
Yeah,
talking to somebody in Australia, it's already tomorrow.
yeah, yeah. And I like Australia too because Australia has its own natural sources of rock dust right there, which spread
Hmm.
around the not only Australia, but all the other continents around it gets it too.
Yeah,
And Antarctica used to be a tropical environment at
yeah.
one time, and so there's signs of layers and layers of crushed dust,
Hmm.
and it depends upon where in the world they get it. It's different, rich in different minerals, but somehow
Hmm.
the Earth manages to spread it out around. And one of the things I wanted to say about rock dust and remineralization is when you're growing pot. That's why I wanted to talk about a refractometer because the refractometer helps you see the bricks level. I
Hmm.
don't know how many people here know how to use a refractometer on pot, but one of the things it teaches you is minerals.
Right.
And the things it teaches you is minerals. And if you're using a blend of rock dust, because that's what you want to do, you want to get a blend. I use 14 different types of rock dust,
Right.
right? And I get it from one of the places I get it from is called Down to Earth.
Hmm.
Down to Earth, you just have to tell them you're a garden, you're a store. As long as you
Hmm.
have a name that sounds like a garden, they only sell wholesale to stores.
Yeah. Yeah. Which makes sense.
And I get soft rock phosphate. You know what that is?
Yeah, I've actually got some out in my grow.
Right, and that stuff is basically a rock dust. Rock dust is any
Hmm.
form of rocks that can be ground up into a dust. I get
Hmm.
uh, I get glacial rock dust. Of course, it comes from Canada. Glacial rock
Yeah,
dust.
comes from my backyard.
Yeah, right. Is that fire still going? Right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
across Canada, we got fires.
yeah, yeah. And that's another way that minerals get spread out because when things get burned, minerals go everywhere. I used to do ashes, but ashes is way too alkaline to be adding to the soil.
Hmm.
Yes, Silly Lily. I like that name. I might make a song called Silly Lily and put it in his honor. You
Well,
know,
there you go.
and so, but one of the things I believe, and I don't know if it's true or not, but
Hmm.
it's the same thing with plants that you're going to eat, whether it
Yeah,
be lettuce or vegetables, whatever fruit. If you have all the blend of minerals, your body's going to use that, and it's going
yeah.
to function perfectly. So I've known many pot growers who are not organic,
Hmm.
and because they don't have the complete blend of minerals, their THC content, the cannabinoid, everything is different.
Hmm.
But when you have all the trace minerals they need, I diggity dank. I know this guy because it reminds me of this pot called Get Dank. Is that
Yeah,
him?
get the dank. Yeah.
Right, right. Nice pot, man. Send it to me. I'll give you my PO box. But I truly believe that if you key into the complete source of minerals that plants get,
Hmm.
your pot would be different than anybody else who doesn't. And
Well,
it
and
actually,
you had actually mentioned something about the energy of the universe.
yeah,
If you don't have that mineralization in your plants in your body, you can't absorb that energetic flux or however you want to term
right,
it. And so that's why we really need the mineralization in everything around us, not
that's
just
right,
the plants, but ourselves as well.
that's right, because it's a healing thing. It's a healing. Hi, Andy. Hi, Ken. Oh, hi, Don. It's a it's a it's a healing thing. Pot is really a medicine. Oh, pancakes. Squish some fire flour. Called pancakes. Oh, cool. Is that a name of a Mary Jane? Pancakes?
Yeah, yeah, I would say.
I have a hard time smoking something that sounds like food.
You'd rather
I
just eat it.
seriously something called watermelon or grape or something like that. I'm going. You're
Yeah.
serious? I'm old fashioned.
I'm not allowed to be frivolous.
Now my Sirius is talking to me. My phone is talking to me.
Yep.
But that's exactly it. See, if you have all the trace minerals, you're really getting all the energies that the universe says you're supposed to be getting. If
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
deficient in any one of them, the energy is not the same thing, and therefore your body will not work the same thing. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the plants you eat, you really the real reason why you get, whether it be pot or lettuce, and it's just a different way to take it into your body, is to get all the energy to heal.
Yeah.
And it affects your brain too. If your brain doesn't get these energy, if the pineal gland is not getting these energy, well, you know, one of the things that happens is you have the left brain and the right brain. They don't work together.
No.
They're supposed to work together, and there are certain trace minerals and elements that do that. That's the job of connecting them. It's
Mm-hmm.
the same thing with the energy that flows through our bodies. Certain trace minerals, that's what they do. Yeah, you know, like copper is supposed to be very electromagnetic in the sense that it passes electricity. So, well, da da da, right?
Well, it's just like the gold that's in our hair. It may be in the parts per billion, but it's there, and that gold is part of the electrical system that connects us with our planet and our plants.
I'm glad you brought that up because I was talking to somebody the other day. We need every trace minerals in our body, including stuff we call toxic, from
Yes.
radiation, from radon to
Mm-hmm.
you name these things. You know, cadmium, mercury, lead. They're needed as well.
Yes. Yeah.
They're needed
And
as
with
well, and they're needed in super small doses, right?
yeah,
Anything.
micro
That's why it's
dosing.
called trace minerals, not macro minerals.
Yeah.
So the problem with chemists, they always using macro. If a little bit is good, a lot is better. It doesn't work that way. I told you about this one guy who says, okay, I did a test. I did a raised bed. I put a pound of rock dust in the bed. Everything
Mm-hmm.
dies, but rock dust is no good. I wanted to respond to him, but it was a really stupid thing for him to do in the first place. So I figured this guy's an idiot. I am not going to tell him. Maybe you should have used like half a cup.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see
Well,
what
that's
I'm
what
saying?
Leighton says. Don't be a moron. So don't put more on,
Yeah,
because
there you
you're
go.
just going to throw it out of balance, and then you're going to have a problem.
Exactly. And I love Leighton. I mean, the guy is really amazing too. Don't be a moron. Exactly. And that's what happens. We've been taught a little bit is good, the more the better. Oh, you
Yeah.
would let me do a song called Silly Lily? Oh, good, cool, cool. I need to write it down because it's such a weird, unusual name. I'll start, don't take it off the screen yet. I got to
Okay.
write this
Yeah.
down. I got to write this down because it's such an unusual name. It's going to be a really cool song. And then what I'll do, brother, is I'll make it a downloadable, and you go up to my YouTube channel, you can download it. So
Cool.
SILLI.
Yeah.
LILLI. So this word here, by the way, is a very particular energy. Words are powerful.
Yes.
Words
Yeah.
are energy, especially when you write them down. Okay.
Yep.
So this here is a very, very powerful word. It's a very ancient mantra. Okay.
Okay.
And so the particular letters there, you should look at it and go, what the heck, right? And so that's why the music does that, because the music is also a form of transmitting the trace minerals.
Okay, now hold on. Of
Yeah.
actually the trace minerals or the vibrational frequency that interacts with the trace minerals?
So the trace minerals give off certain frequencies, right?
Yeah.
Okay, those are the ones that get transmitted by the music.
So we can get trace minerals through the music
Right. So
on a molecular level?
Here's the way it works. Okay, so the frequency is the same whether it's a tree or a bird or a rock or a gem or whatever. That same frequency.
Right.
So you can check. So if I needed iron, so the way the gem elixirs, which I make gem elixirs, and I also do Bach flower remedies. Bach was the guy with that musician. He realized that the frequency also, if we get the frequency, it's the same as eating whatever that or having whatever that frequency was generated by that frequency.
Okay.
Right. So so what I do is a lot of times I find that a person is deficient in a certain mineral or deficient in a certain frequency. So I've learned certain frequency means certain minerals. You put that in the song, you listen to that frequency, your body's going to go, that mineral, I need that. And it's going to get the minerals without even coming in contact with the mineral.
Okay, that's where a breatharian, that's probably how that works, because they're getting everything they need from the frequencies coming off the sun. That
And you
makes
don't even
sense now.
and you don't even need the breath because the frequencies absorbed. We listen not just to our ear. Frequencies, like we think we listen through our ears or we see through our eyes. No, the body, the skin happens to be the biggest organ that we have, and it listens and it sees, just like
Mm-hmm.
all the organs. So each
Yep.
organ in the body needs certain frequencies. A combination of frequencies would basically mean a combination of minerals.
Okay.
So physically, you can put the combination of minerals together and ingest it, or physically, you can take the combination of minerals, whatever that frequency is, that's what you transmit. So when you're listening to that combination of frequency, I call it a collage of frequency, because in nature, there's not just any one frequency. There's always a collage of frequencies.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So all you have to do is listen to that frequency, and your body will automatically start tuning into that frequency. It's just like two tuning forks. Ding, the other one starts tuning in.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see, right? So the variety of frequencies, your body, the frequency will go to the part that's listening to it. The lungs, the liver, the kidney, all require certain frequencies.
Mm-hmm.
You give them that frequency, it's as if they're getting the same trace minerals. Because
Well, I know when I used to do healing work, we would take we would raise our breath up, you speed it up, so you're raising your energy, and then you would feed that energy to the person. Their energy would come up to match, and that's where the healing happened, was in the change of frequency and vibration. So that makes a lot more sense now that you're putting it that way.
So what you was doing when you was raising the frequency, either you're visualizing or you automatically knew how to raise. By raising the frequency, well, all you was really doing is you were passing on that frequency to somebody else.
Yeah.
And you had to he has to be open to listen to you, because a lot of times we're deaf. We're not no longer. So it was your wife that's talk about grounding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so when you're grounded, you're open to the frequencies. That's what a tree is. A tree that's not grounded, every fast food. People, birds, insects that are not grounded are not going to hear that frequency.
Yeah.
You see what I'm
So
saying?
we do have a question I wanted to bring up.
Oh no, I'm not doing questions. Okay.
Oh yeah. What foliar feeding will C90 and glacier rock dust be sufficient enough?
No. So C90, there's 96 different trace minerals. Glacier rock dust is also deficient in certain trace minerals. So you want to get a blend, a couple other types of rock dust, so that you have it covered. You have that. So I've learned, and I've gone through 14 different different sources of rock dust in order to get the exotic ones. The exotic ones are ones we just talked about, whether it be gold, cadmium, mercury, lead. They're not found in all the glacier rock dust, because the glacier rock dust, again, it depends what part of the world it comes from, how it was made. So glacier means the glaciers. That usually means, but the glaciers could be anywhere in the world. So you have to say, where is that glacial rock dust? Is it coming from Canada, right? Or is it coming from Africa, right? Or is it coming, right? And so you probably could get 4 or 5 different types of glacial rock dust, but they come from different parts of the world. Yeah. I'm assuming that this person talking about glacial rock dust is the ones being sold out from Canada. See, so in Canada, you're going to get certain minerals, but you're going to be deficient in other minerals. And what you have to key in is for that last 6, the exotic ones, the super exotic ones.
So what are the exotic ones, Andy? Can you list them off for the people?
Not off the top of my head, but they usually are very hard to pronounce.
Yeah, I find that a lot of times. That's like the biology that Leighton talks about. It's generally really hard to pronounce.
Super hard. So all you have to do is say, what are the 96 trace minerals? And the series will tell you. Just spit them right out. And you can say, what are the exotic trace minerals? And maybe she'll know what they are, because exotic means they're really, very, but to me, what it means is that there's only one way you can get them, and that's the microbes go after them, and you can't find them so the exotic ones, even though you may have it in the rock dust, you have to have the microbes to make those available, because you can put it down all you want to, And if the proper microbes are not there, you're going to be deficient in those rock dust and those trace minerals. See what I'm saying? So that's why you always want to get a blend. Mother Nature gets a blend. She doesn't take one rock dust from one place. She just has a mix of all these different sources of rock dust.
And it's all about the biology to be able to use all the rock dust, etc., you're putting in your soil or in your own body. If you don't have the biology to use that, then you can't even use it. And then you become sick because now you're overfeeding something that your body can't use.
Can you do a screen share and look up local?
Local.
LOCAL rock dust. It's called local. That's the name of the company.
Okay.
And they have at least 7 or 8 different trace mineral sources of rock dust there. Down to Earth has another one. There's another one. They have about 10 different sources of rock dust there. You know, you can get rock dust from local. What they do is they ship them from different parts of the world and they sell it there. So you don't have to worry about paying $100 billion to ship 50 pounds across the world. So if you look up rock dust, local, it says local, LOCAL, I think it's the name of it.
Yeah, I got something else came up on that one. Hold on, let me try that again.
A lot of times local makes you show up local stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
You can
so
say
local rock dust.
Try that. Otherwise, I'm just going to have to pull it up for you sometime.
I think I'd actually found it when you were on with Av and Leighton on their show. I had pulled it up at that time.
Right. And I'm pretty sure the name is local, LOCAL. And so all you have to, there you go. That's it.
Local rock dust.
Exactly. So click on rock dust, and it should give you like 5 or 6 of them. Scroll on down a little bit. You see the picture. It says right there, right.
Yeah, there's rock dust.
Yeah, click on that one. So anybody's listening here, this is a real good place to get some of the stuff you will not normally be able to get. You see, there's 6 of them right there. There's probably a few more if you scroll down. See?
Just the 6 they've got there.
6 right there. And look, mention some of it because I can't read it.
Swanton black lime, high cal lime plus kelp, Green Mountain granite, bricks blend basalt, microfine basalt, and St. George black.
So those are just 6 right there. And I'm telling you, those have a lot of the exotics in them. Okay, because that's how they were made. They were all made by volcanic activity. They heated the rock up and melted everything together. different. Granite's really cool. I have a friend who's into carving. He has all this granite dust. He throws it out the backyard. Things are growing like crazy.
Yeah.
He also have animals and live soil. He feeds it to the livestock.
Yeah. And like Diggity Dank is saying here, the fungus and bacteria to break down the rock like a tree growing out of a rock. See a lot of that in the mountains where I hike here in Montana.
Exactly right. Exactly that. I clued into that a long time ago. Why is that tree wrapped its roots around this here rock? Because the tree has the microbes in the root system already. Yeah. So that tree has evolved. Well, there's no soil here. We're going to do it right on the roots, and we're going to get it from the rocks, from the rock. Yeah. So normally you have to have soil, but because things evolve maybe over time, like in the desert, different kinds of soil there, different kinds of microbes. Yeah. So but from our case, in terms of having an average yard, stuff like that, you want to get normal microbes. But if you live in the desert, there's lots of ways to deal with the local microbes. That's why I like to use Korean farming, because it teaches you how to deal with the local microbes that are there.
The indigenous microorganisms.
Exactly right. And even then, you want to get the animals that you normally would find there. Deal with that, right? So you deal with goats, lots of different. That's why it's important when you have a farm. When I go to places, organic farming, they don't have any animals. I keep on going. I go, well, they're going to have problems. And then they say, well, the problems are normal.
No, they're not.
Right.
They're only normal if you don't follow the biology and the way that Mother Nature would actually use and replenish the soil. Then you have normal problems.
So I was I got called several times, about 4 or 5 times, different people. They all have peach leaf curl. Okay. I just want you to spray the trees. I'm going, so you want me to deal with the finger, ignore the body? I
Yeah.
don't think that's going to work. And they have no soil. And all that rain has waterlogged everything, the water evaporating going up, and all the diseases going spreading like crazy. There are a
Yeah.
few people, some of my customers that actually have salt, no problem. They're growing really well because rainwater doesn't kill microbes. And the
Mm-hmm.
drainage, right? But clay doesn't drain too well. See,
Yeah.
right? Right. So it's just one of the things I always like to talk about is that diseases are all soil borne.
Mm-hmm.
Even diseases in human beings have a relationship to what's going on in the soil and birds and insects and everything. It's hard to
Mm-hmm.
understand how that works but it's true. If the soil is not functioning good, you're not going to get the food and the trace minerals you need. You're going to be susceptible to the diseases and the pests.
Yes. Yeah. Well, if it's not in your soil, it's not getting into the animals that you're consuming, the vegetables you're consuming. So how the heck are you going to get it if it's not there at the base of what you're consuming?
And our biomean in our stomach are not evolved to take the rock dust and convert it. It's the different microbes in there. They don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Otherwise, we wouldn't have to eat food. We should just walk around, eat some rock dust, and eat the rock dust, and get the minerals we need from that. You
Yeah.
see, right? Right? And it's the same thing with all animals, all insects, birds. Everybody has evolved along the same path. We need all the same identical trace minerals. I thought that was interesting. I said, well, gee, insects need 96 trace minerals, birds need 90, whales need 90. We all need the same minerals. There must be a
Yeah.
relationship going on here that we
Geez, you
all,
figure?
you would think, right? There's something's going on that we all need the same trace mineral. And
Yeah.
nobody, as far as I know, not many people are catching on that it's the trace minerals. It's a trace mineral deficiency that's causing the problem. Instead of, because what they do is they say, take this, spray that. Very good for business.
Yeah. Yeah.
Doesn't solve the problem. There's a law of cause and effect, right?
So, are there any other ways to remineralize other than rock dust, Andy? Like you were talking about music and using the vibrational frequency of the music. Is there anything else?
Right. So there was a long time ago, this guy invented a device called Hieronymus device. This is
Hieronymus device.
Hieronymus device, right? He's invented it in Germany. So he's saying the same thing. The frequency is what we want, and we can transmit the frequency. Tesla was saying the same thing. We can transmit the frequency. So
Mm-hmm.
this device is basically a big giant tube, about like that. It goes up maybe 10, 15 feet, and inside of it, he put crystals. He crushes crystals up. Different kinds of crystals makes different kinds of frequency. But in the center is a little box.
Okay.
So anything he puts in there gets transmitted on his property. And he found out about it because a guy named Phil Callahan, and he wrote "Tuning into Nature."
Okay.
And I met him when I gave a talk, and he went to Ireland and England and over there in that whole area of Findhorn and everything. And he was looking at these giant towers. It goes up into the sky, and there were
Mm-hmm.
and the old lore is as well. You know, when the Vikings would come, they would climb up the thing, roll the ladder up, and nobody can get at them. But
Mm-hmm.
this guy realized that from a plane, it's desert except that environment there, lush and
Mm-hmm.
green and growing. Something was making everything grow really, really well. And that's what that did. It retransmitted throughout the property. And so this
Okay.
Hieronymus device, which is totally illegal in the United States because it works. You don't need
Figures.
fertilizer. All you do is you get the rock dust. You get them in you have to have something that has the original right energy for it. But you don't have
Mm-hmm.
to. You can spread. You can send it to almost any place. Right. So you initially have to. So to transmit the frequency, you have to have something that generates the frequency.
Okay.
It's easier to generate the frequency from the source. So you get a blend of rock dust. You got the right frequencies. You can transmit it over your whole property.
So, how do you find the right frequency for each different element?
Okay, so there are different things that you can use, different devices that you can buy that will show you the frequencies. So I learned about frequencies a long time ago in terms of the human body. I did Rife, Sir Rife, Rife.
Okay, Rife.
Right, Rife. And so you can look him up, and he should come up. He's called Sir Rife. That's his name, Sir Rife. Right.
Okay.
He teaches the frequencies, how to transmit the frequency, and how to determine what frequency it is. Did you see it?
No, I'm getting air rifles.
No,
Rife.
I think it's Rife. Did you type in Sir Rife?
Yeah, SIRRI. Oh, maybe I should take one of the R's out. Let's try that. Serious on ice. Sir Cafe.
Okay, if you can't find it, you have to give me homework, and I will turn everybody onto it. There's another lady, another person that does. Her name is Hilda Clark, Clark. You can't misspell that one, Hilda Clark. And so she has a frequency generator, but it also can determine the frequency.
We got an American author. We got an American model.
Hilda Clark.
Yeah.
She makes a sapper.
Clark.
Clark. Yeah. She makes a sapper. Zapper.
Okay.
And
Helda.
Hilda
Clark.
Hilda Clark. There you go. I said Hilda.
Okay.
Hilda
Zapper.
Clark. Right. So she has a way of transmitting the frequency into your body. That's what a sapper is. And also that she makes a generator. The generator can also tell you what the frequency is. So ideally, there you go. See, and that's Hilda Clark. And that's a generator. That's a sapper. You can scroll it up a little bit so they can see it better. There you go. And that's a sapper, and that's a generator. And that's a generator. And so you can determine the frequency because it will show up on that generator. And the Rife and the Royal, it's called Royal Rife Society. And I'm pretty sure it's Rife. And both of them not only can tell you how to transmit the frequencies, but also to read the frequency of any object that you can use.
Okay.
See, right? Me, I started off by because I do the music thing. I already tune into the frequency. So in the computer, they can actually read the frequency. You have like an oscilloscope. It tells you what frequency that is. You see what I mean, right? So you can actually have a computer listening into the music, and it tells you what frequency is hidden in there. And so all you have to do is adopt the computer to be able to read the frequencies of any inanimate object, because they do give off frequency. And the key to that is to key into the light that it gives off. So a refractometer refracts the light that tells you the minerals that's in it. See?
Okay.
Right? So it's all connected. But as a human being, you have a hard time saying, I don't hear frequency. I can determine this frequency from that frequency and this frequency. So you have to learn to have tools. There are plenty of tools. Nowadays with a computer, and especially with AI now, you can tell an AI computer, I want you to learn about this. There he is.
Yeah.
Raymond Rife.
And thank you, Jason Line 512. He's the one that
yeah. Right, exactly right. And his son is, by the way, now offering the Sapper device to people.
Okay.
This is full of frequencies that you can then plug in your phone to it, headphones on. No, you put pads on, and it'll sap you with that frequency.
Mm-hmm.
So what I do is I attach it to trees or plants and sap it with that frequency, just for the heck of it, to see what happens. You see, right?
And what happens?
If a bug, so personally, what happens is that if a bug is attacking the tree and I got the right frequency, the bug will stop. The bug will just leave it alone, because it counteracts. The bug can't hear that, it doesn't like to listen to that frequency,
right?
Or it feels pain, or it just knows to stay the heck away.
Yeah.
Any combination of those things.
Mm-hmm.
See, so the whole thing about frequency is not new. It's been around a long, long time. It's just the general public doesn't know how to deal with it. So,
Yeah.
if like me, I tune in automatically. But people who want to learn about frequencies, there are plenty of devices that they have an amazing book talks about frequencies. All you have to do is say, okay, if it's good for the body, it's good for the plant.
Yeah.
Simple. See, so they have frequencies for cancer. Now, plants may not have cancer, but plants do have a form of cancer that the cells are not working properly. That's to do with the cells. Because it can't. So the way it works is that there are frequencies in nature that counteract diseases and pests.
Yeah.
That's the way it works. You see, that's the way it works. So if you wear something that gets off the frequency, or you somehow have something that creates that frequency, there are lots of things that I wear that create a certain frequency. Like, where did I do with that? Oh, I have gems and crystals. All these gems and crystals generate frequencies.
Yeah. Yeah.
And these insects and diseases are so sensitive to these frequencies, they will go, because it scrambles they have like a built-in TV set. I tell people they have a TV set that they only can tune in a certain channel. It's there, bingo, I want to eat that. I'm going to go for that. So if you scramble it, they can't tune into you. And that's also a useful tool I use in terms of controlling electromagnetic radiation from cell phones and all those things.
Yeah, EMF.
You can counteract that with other frequencies.
Yeah, yeah.
You see, right? So you can literally do the frequency around your whole property. Technically, we should be able to do the frequency around the whole planet, but there are other beings, other people that generate the negative frequencies.
Yeah, yeah.
You see, right? You know, so they kind of have this battle going on. Who's the strongest in terms of generating the frequencies? Mother Earth, you leave her alone, she generates her own frequency. Human beings have this nutty idea of generating the weirdest frequencies. There you go. See, in his lab, and his, like I said, his son's out there now doing it.
Okay.
And this stuff was illegal in the United States. Yeah, right. Hulda Clark.
Yeah.
And I learned that the frequency generator will generate whatever frequency you want, but also can tune into the frequency and tell you what frequency you have.
What it
you
is.
You have to know the frequency first in order to generate it.
Yeah.
Well,
it's just like, no, you can't tune a guitar unless you can find the right frequency of this note C to start your tuning with.
Exactly right. Otherwise, you'd be there all day trying to figure out it's still not there. So you have to have a base to work from. And in Mother Nature, this is a science. It's not like we're creating frequency. They're there already. You just have to say, well, that frequency feels really good. I don't know what it is, but it feels really good. And then you can figure out what that frequency is and duplicate it in lots and lots of ways. And that's why it's important where it comes back to pot growers. You really want that pot to have that frequency.
Yes. Yeah.
You see what I mean? Because then you're going to get the healing energy from that frequency. That's why mushrooms, and by the way, I can give you the name of the, I can spell it out for you. Oh yeah, exactly right. And that's right, Jason. And that's exactly what happens. The crystalline structures vibrate to that frequency. They are created in that frequency, and they always vibrate to that frequency. And you can actually have a frequency.
Water is so close to being crystal. That's one of the reasons that we vibrate at that higher frequency.
Exactly right. That's why I've learned to read and write to water.
And using your crystals to do it with.
Right. I use gems. Gems are higher frequency level than crystals.
Okay, that's interesting.
Gems are really crystals that have been, what do you call it when they work on a crystal? They shape it. They do these different things to gems, right?
It's slipping my mind, but yeah, I know what you're saying. It's like taking a diamond in the rough and grinding it down to make the nice diamond.
Exactly right, and that's a certain frequency. So a lot of these people, when they're working with, so I used to do that where I could work on a gem, but I would just tune into the frequency and create that gem of that frequency.
Okay.
And I have these gems that the frequencies doesn't change. So I learned how to take that frequency, write it to the water. And I would get a couple other gems, put them together. You have this music of
Yeah.
frequencies. You see, so a lot of times I would make something that would be like, generally speaking, for everything in the body, right? Your body would go, whoa, let me pick this. Because that's what happened. Your organs will pick a certain frequency. That's what it's going to tune into. Another organ will pick another frequency. You see, and each frequency supercharged with that mineral, with that frequency of the mineral. Because that's all it really is the frequency of the mineral. When a cosmic beam shoots through the earth, it leaves the frequency of the mineral. Doesn't leave the cosmic beam ray, right? The crystals, whether it be gems, whatever, absorb that frequency. They vibrate to that frequency, and they keep on vibrating at that frequency.
Yeah. Until something else comes and changes the frequency.
Until something else comes and either destroys it or counteracts it. Lots of different things can happen. That's the way Mother Nature is. That's why we're constantly have to recharge.
Yeah.
Because we have so many frequencies around us. Electromagnetic fields are not a very good frequency to be involved with.
And that's why grounding is so important.
That's why grounding. So what happens is that when you get grounded, trees, whatever, you form an electromagnetic field around yourself that counteracts any of the other negative electromagnetic fields.
Yeah, yeah.
You see, right? And to me, I think it's fascinating because I've always thought, marijuana is just one of these things that comes from nature. So mushrooms has its own frequency. LSD has its own frequency, even though LSD is not found in nature. Yes, it is, because it's through the fungus in nature. You can trip on it just like you're doing. And same thing with DMT or the toad. All of these are nature, which means they have absorbed that frequency that puts out.
Right.
And when you tune into that frequency, it's really mind-blowing because a lot of these frequencies are not just earthbound frequencies. They're like cosmic frequency, right? Who knows where that ray came from, right? Where that cosmic micron, atom came from, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Right? And it traveled through the earth in a nanosecond, and it kept on going to another galaxy, another place, right? And it does the same thing everywhere it goes through. Leave this really cool frequency.
So you got to wonder if that was a thought of the universe, or if you want to call it God or source or however you want to term it. If that each frequency is just a particular thought that some entity had, and it went out from that entity, and it's just traveling around the universe and the galaxy.
I like you because you have the ability, like Leighton, to understand what the fuck I'm talking about. And that's exactly right.
Well, thank you.
And that's exactly right, because when I was doing LSD really heavily for once, and I wrote down a formula, and I call it the formula for the universe.
Okay.
And next thing I know, it was like 5 years ago, this guy on YouTube, as a matter of fact, if you look up YouTube, formula for the universe, it's going to come up, and he's going to explain it to you, what a fractal is.
Yeah.
A fractal is a visual representation of, quote, God. A fractal. And if you look at it, you know how it gets smaller and smaller and smaller, larger and larger. It's all the same, right? And there's a place. And so there's a formula for that. And I'm looking at it. He's writing the formula, and I'm looking for my paperwork, and I pull up this thing. I'm going, it's the same formula. It blew my mind away because I'm not a mathematician, but I can handle frequencies. I can handle energy. It's all math. Talk about a mathematician. They go, yeah, it's all math. Quantum theory, it's all math.
Quantum physics, yeah.
It's all math. It really is, and that tells me that it's not a chaos. It's not a random thing that's all math. This has an intelligence behind it.
And then if you consider that 0 doesn't actually exist, only 1 to 9 actually exists in math, and 0 is an anomaly created.
It's a placeholder.
Yeah.
You should read about the guy who created 0, because it's like as a magician, a master magician, he wasn't getting it together. So that 0, it really represents God. I mean, I'm not a religious person, but I'm going, there's something going on here. Something is not a coincidence. And all this has fallen. Galaxies, dimensions, time and space, all of it. it's done on purpose. Something happened that causes
Mm-hmm.
all these things to happen on purpose. It's not a coincidence that it's not a coincidence you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Somebody put them together, made that. So
Somebody had to.
the universe is that way. And I'm saying, and my goal has always been to leave the body and talk to God. But no matter how far I go, the further I go, the more there's still to go.
Or is God just a matter of looking inside of yourself and communicating with yourself as an entity that's supposed to be a representation of God? And what is God? Is God just a higher developed being? And has the term been co-opted by mankind?
The further in you go, the further out you go. The further in you go, you're going to find it's the same thing. Just like that fractal. You can go one way or the other for the fractal. It will never end. It will never end. You just keep going further and further in. You're going, what the heck is going on here? Should there be a beginning and an end? No.
There is no beginning and end.
Something going on here, and blows me away because I'm saying okay, so and there's something going on here. Seriously, there's something going on here. We're part of all this, but we have the ability. That's what's so cool about quote consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
That can connect with anything. If we are truly one consciousness, we can. It's all about the biology.ca. What is that one? Is that
that's my website. It's all about the biology.
Oh, cool. I haven't been to your website.
Nope.
No, I haven't. You're keeping it a secret.
Oh, well, and it's a well-kept secret, you know. So like everything I've done, everything I have, most of it's all about the biology. I have Twitter, I have YouTube, I have LinkedIn, I have all these different platforms, even Rumble. It's all about the biology.
So what is your profession?
My profession was as a truck driver.
And you came up with biology? How did you do that?
How did I do that? I have always been into natural and organic, and I've always been an explorer of knowledge. And I have a gift of being able to take knowledge in different data sets and combine them. And
it's a really cool statement. I mean, I've been talking to people. The soil's alive. It's the microbes. And I not once thought it's about the biology, because that explains it very simple to even the dumbest idiot. Because they keep saying, what are you talking about, heal the soil? What are you talking about? Well, I'm not healing the sand or the rocks. Mm-hmm. I'm healing the biology.
Yeah.
You see? So it blew me away when I first heard, the biology, of course. I wanted to get a trademark. I can go take a trademark on it and I'll beat you to it. You need to get a trademark on that.
Actually, I've had it on here for over a year. So in reality, you would have one hell of a court battle, because I can prove that I've been using it a lot longer than it's anybody else. But the key was, Andy, is when I discovered the S phase of cell development and cell division, you need the biological component to build the cell. That's your workforce. Like, say you're building a house, that's your labor force. But it's also the biology that creates the 2x4s and the 2x6s.
Yeah.
So without those two, a cell can't divide. If it does, it's a rogue cell. So it truly is down to, it's all about the biology, because we don't exist. Our cells can't divide, a plant, animal, or human, without that biology as the base.
And when you look at the biology, what is it the biology does? It provides the trace minerals needed to function. Like, you have to have calcium, magnesium, and in the right proportion, and in a certain way that's acceptable by the system, whether it be the plant, humans, or whatever. See what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and that's the key to it right there, because without the biology, we would not have Earth as we know it.
Yeah, exactly.
Simple as that.
Those minerals could be all over the place, and we couldn't use them without the biology.
And there are lots of planets with lots and lots of minerals, but no biology to do anything with it. So they're going to be like that forever. And so the biology requires a specific, like the Goldilocks zone kind of thing, you know? Right?
Well, we got to tell Elon Musk, hey, buddy, you want to make Mars inhabitable? It's all about the biology.
Right. So all he's going to be able to do on Mars is live in giant buildings, which maybe has soil in there and stuff like that. But the Mars itself will not hold life because it doesn't have any soil. It did have soil one time.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? There are lots of other planets that did have soil. There's planets now that they're discovering that has water. So science is key into water. Well, it's just water by itself, and it's not going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to do it. There's biology in the water too. They're different. But there's something about soil and the microbes in the biology in the soil that's different than the biology in the water.
Mm-hmm. Well, we've got a guy coming on Monday, Dennis Meehan. He's going to actually talk about the space in between the water molecules.
That's cool. I'm into that too. I've discovered that there's a space in between everything. When you meditate, you want to go in the space in between. So your body is mainly 99% space.
God is within. All the answers are there.
Exactly right. So the thing is that not only God is within, we are God. I am God. I don't need to go within or outside to look for God. I am already there.
Yeah.
Well, that's what the consciousness is. The consciousness is the same, connected to God. You want to get in touch with God, get in touch with your consciousness.
Yeah.
Right. And if you have a clear vision and you can listen, God will talk to you because you're already basically talking to yourself. And by God, I mean, this is like a being that encompasses universes. It's not like some big guy floating around in space. It's actually. So what does that mean? We're the actual cells we're the cells of God.
We're the mycelium. We're the computer network for this entity that is God. So we are part of God. So are we not God?
Yeah, I tell people we are the soil.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
See what I mean? We're the soil of God.
Yeah.
See, so that's really cool. And the more you get into that, the more you learn that we do. Physical body, the physical world needs these minerals. Spiritual body doesn't. Spiritual body just goes with the energy.
Yeah, it's the frequency. Our physical form is just a bag of biology, and to exist in this physical form, we have to abide by what the physical form needs. But our energy, who we truly are, needs none of it.
Needs none of it. So many times I've been reincarnated as a son. You sit there going, "Oh, this is wonderful, wonderful." It's all energy. It's all about energy. That's all it really is.
Mm-hmm.
So I probably should come to listen to the other shows too, because I'm missing a lot, aren't I? You have it every day at 6?
Well, actually, the OG's Power Hour is every Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific.
Oh, actually, you have to quit work in order to be able to come and listen to this.
Yeah, that one you can listen on your headphones at work. On YouTube. We also have
them, right. I can subscribe to it, or I can. Is it the same as your website? Through your website, I can connect with all this.
Well, just on YouTube, on this channel, it's all about the biology. They're all on. All the shows are collected under. It's all about the biology. I'm forming quite the network. I've got other shows, other people, other hosts that are wanting to come on and do their own shows on the channel of It's All About the Biology.
That is so cool. It's an honor to be here, and I hope that people come to my YouTube channel and subscribe to it, because I have a few channels too. But the show is called From the Soil to the Soul.
And there's your YouTube, one of your YouTube channels anyway, The Invisible Gardener.
Right. It's called Invisible Gardener, and you spelled it right. It was really great.
I try. My wife keeps me in line with spelling because I can write damn good poetry, but I can't spell worth a damn.
Poetry is interesting you bring up, because if you do it right, poetry is a certain frequency. Remember, the words are powerful. The words translate to frequencies. As simple as that. You see, so if you learn what the frequency means in terms of vocalizing it, whoa. That's a big thing, the frequency. That's why we have mantras. That's why we have all these things, different chanting, all these different things. Frequencies, the vocalization of the frequency. We're few beings that can actually vocalize frequency, or even imagine frequency. Birds and animals, they do their thing. They don't know what they're doing. They do their thing, but they're not. Oh yeah, I'm vocalizing frequencies. No, see. right?
Yeah,
And
we
trees.
can change our tone and our pitch and create, like we're real creator beings, whether that's music, poetry, or just whatever we think we can create. Where most animals and most species don't
By
have
the way,
that
you didn't play.
capability.
By the way, you didn't play my music in the beginning to show of the show.
Yes, I did.
Did you?
Yeah, I did the intro.
I didn't hear it. I did
Oh
not hear
man,
it.
well
I
just because
272.
272, that's the frequency?
Yeah,
Okay.
and that is considered a God frequency.
Okay.
If you play that outside in the yard and stuff like that, all the animals and birds and bees would be like,
Oh man, we're gonna get them all just high,
and
man. Yeah.
the trees would be going like this, and the wind in the sky, everything would be vibrating to that. Because that frequency is a cosmic frequency that the universe makes.
And that's on SoundCloud, guys.
Yeah.
So you can actually go and listen to Andy's stuff on SoundCloud. There's some absolutely amazing stuff. You got to use headphones. You got to make sure you're using headphones because he's done something special.
I tricked the body. I learned about binaural.
Mm-hmm.
You know what that is, right?
I believe so, but maybe you better tell me.
Something comes in one ear, something comes from the other ear. Different. Mm-hmm. When you're listening to a sound, same sound comes to both ears. So what I do is have one channel at one frequency, another channel have another frequency. And what
Diggity just to subscribe to your channel, by the way.
Subscribe 0.
Yeah, I think the 0 was a mistake, but he just went and subscribed to your channel.
Cool. And so what happens is that in nature, there are frequencies everywhere, and you have to learn to. But one reason why our brain is not functioning left and right side is because it's no longer working the way it's supposed to. So by putting headphones on, I force the brain to channel energy frequencies into the pineal gland. The pineal gland go, whoa, that goes over there. Whoa, that goes over there. But if you're doing both sides, the pineal gland is just asleep. There's nothing happening. It's like, and it doesn't go through the whole process that your body's supposed to get. You see what I'm saying? That's very sneaky. And more people are learning about binaural stuff. So you put headphones on. I usually have one frequency. Now, this particular song that you have, it's just one frequency. That means it doesn't make any difference. But if you wear headphones on, the pineal gland will still say, cool. And it makes it work. Because if you make the pineal gland work, the pineal gland works on the level of trace minerals. It needs these really cool exotic trace minerals in order to transmit the energy throughout the pathways of your body.
Mm-hmm. So basically what you're talking about is what they were complaining about in the 60s, with the subliminal messaging. That's what subliminal messaging was all about, was, that kind of an interaction with our minds and our brains when we didn't even realize the stuff was there.
Right. So when I write music, I used to start telling people, this is the frequency, and you can hear it. And that would freak people out. So now I put it on a subliminal level. They do not understand anything that's happening other than they get off on it. They go, wow, that is cool.
Yeah.
What did you say?
Silly Lily said wordsmiths would understand that, Andy.
Cool. Yes, they would, because that's a very crucial understanding of the way nature works, of the way the energy works. And we have the ability to do that. We don't there aren't too many animals and creatures that have a pineal gland that do that. That's why that's why it's called a third eye.
Yeah, yeah.
See, right? And that it needs gold. I know it needs silver, it needs copper, magnesium, cadmium, mercury, lead, you name it. It needs all those things because it uses that to build a pathway to connect, to expand your mycelium brain, right? What do you think what do you think the brain is made out of? Right? What do you think the pathway is?
Like the moon, isn't it? It's cheese like the moon.
Right. So that's what it's really all about, is expanding allowing the brain to create new pathways.
Yeah.
And keep it there and then use them.
Yeah.
So if you're not getting all these trace minerals, you're not functioning. As member said, your brain's not even 10%.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? And that's only because you're not listening the correct way,
Hmm.
right? That's all it is listening the correct way.
Yeah,
So this
and
is
that's where your music brings us back to that correct way.
whether you
And
want
if
to or
we're
not.
mineralized properly, it really works good.
I tell you, I used to take a big speaker, put it on the middle of people's properties, and then boom, and I would put the speaker down into the ground. You would hear it through your feet. It would come
Hmm.
up to you. Well, what is that? And it would be like really cool, a really cool effect. I think the plants and everything really like that. Oh,
And Silly Lily,
if you go to a SoundCloud, you'll see every song up there has my artwork that
yeah,
I do, and the artwork is called Liquid Art. And what's really cool about it, you can play music to the, and it will just do its own thing. You're gonna go, what
cool.
the heck happened there? That's my secret. Don't tell anybody. People say, how do you do this? Well, I play the music to it. And the music.
It does it itself. It follows the vibration.
What I want to do is get a plate, hook it up to the plate, let the plate vibrate. But right now,
Cool.
all you have to do is put it in the same room, and it's just the different colors vibrate at different frequencies, so they tend to do their thing.
Yeah, amazing how that works, eh?
And you get it really, it is really, really cool. And so I don't use a paintbrush. I don't know anything. I just learn, get all these different colors together, pour it down in a certain way, and either the music is great because it's physical, but you can create your own music. You just your thought forms, the energy that you can produce, you can generate. You can tell the pineal gland, I would like to generate this frequency, and bam, it comes out to your body, and anything around you will pick it, including other things that don't think about it. They just respond to that energy.
Very true. Anyway, we're at the hour, guys, so I'm going to cut it here. But next week, Andy, would you like to get it more into the refractometer? Because we're kind of halfway talking about that today.
Sure.
But how about we focus on that next week?
See, this is a refractometer here. That's a digital refractometer. This one over here is a analog refractometer. I don't know what I did with it. I think I ate my analog refractometer. It's so tasty. Here it is. Now this one here is $10,000 unit.
Yeah.
And I have another one for $35, which works the same. So I'll talk to everybody about that because people can learn how to use it.
And you're welcome, Diggity Dank. It's a pleasure for you guys to come. And remember, guys, ask your questions. Andy wants you guys to ask questions so that we know what you guys want to learn about.
That's all about it. I don't even have to think about it. You ask me a question, I'm off and running because that's what I want to do. I want to answer your questions. I want to make you guys have the most amazing grow that you ever did. And it affects you, your body, your health, your consciousness.
Yeah.
That's what it's really all about. You know, we're just using these other things as a tool to get to know each other. But once we know each other and you can expand your brain, expand your consciousness, expand your awareness, it's a big difference. A big difference because it affects other people. I hear your wife in the background.
Yes, she's saying Diggity had a question about DMT. Okay, here we go.
You have time?
Have you tried DMT? I never have, but
I'm doing it now.
It could be possible. Well,
I'm doing it now. So what I do is it's called microdosing. So this particular church that I go to, they grow mushroom, they feed it DMT, and you do that.
Okay.
And let me tell you, it's a whole different experience. And so the microdosing is cool because I was just talking to the VA guy today. He said, you microdose, it doesn't work. Yeah, but you have to microdose enough to where you actually are tripping, but not so tripping so much you can't walk or talk.
Mm-hmm.
So I've learned to function actually tripping because I'm doing it now. Hey, look, guys, it's Lorelei. Why is the room? No, it's like, and you function really, really well, easily, and you're tuning into frequencies faster, colors and sounds, and you control it because your pineal gland is controlling it. It's saying, hey, this is cool. Look at that color. Look at that sound. Look at that energy. I can sense it from people, sense it from plants. When I go to a property, if I don't feel right about it, the energy is not right, I'm not going anywhere near it.
And like Zilly Lily's saying about the songbirds in the spring awakening the trees.
Exactly. So those bird songs, just like whale songs, other songs, are certain frequencies that these beings, trees, communicate. And there are lots of different ways, not necessarily in English, right? Not necessarily in English. And that's what happens. And not that the trees are asleep. The trees are always there. They don't sleep like we do. They're connected with the cycles of nature. And if you a lot of times you listen to my song, you hear the bird chip in there, or you hear a whale, and that's a certain frequency that I have learned. And these are I call them cosmic frequencies. That once your body automatically goes, oh, that's nice, right? Right. And same thing with the sound of rain. The same thing with the sound of rain or water. Anything that has to do with water. Anything that makes a noise that comes from water, your body's going to go, whoa, because it's sending out that frequency. Okay, guys, I can talk some more if you want to hang on. I don't know.
Oh no, we got to get going. We're keeping these at around the hours. So
it's a full connection. It seriously is, because you only connect to just a small amount. You don't be afraid. That's the whole key. Is you learn how to be open entirely, trust the universe, and all of a sudden, bam! You're gonna go, what happened? Whoa! Right?
Yeah.
Love you guys.
Okay, and on the BAM, I'm